Syracuse on a Saturday night in the Dome. Jair Davis beats Van Allen Lubin for the tip. Rodeau, tough catch for Lubin, and this is another one. And the ball deflects out to Withers. Rodeau will take it himself this time, right into the body of Taylor and roll home the game's first points.
I like when get where he wants to go off the bounce. He's the most dangerous guy on the floor, but he needs to be able to score it first.
Davis passes up a three. They get Lampkin isolated with Lubin, and he bullies him under the hoop.
Most importantly, he was really friendly today, and he complimented both of us on our suits.
He did.
He didn't make fun of your glasses.
8 double-doubles in the last 11 and playing 30 minutes a game for Syracuse. Foul was on Starling. Cadeau as the first 4 points.
You got two young guns about to check into the game for Carolina, fresh bodies.
Ian Jackson and Drake Powell. Davis rocks his way to the right side of the paint. To understand the rhythms of the season, understand the little things that can take him out of games for a couple of minutes here. Yeah, as we mentioned, that was Starling's second foul, but he stays on the floor for Syracuse. Jackson shot fakes a three, step back, and Ian Jackson, who did not hit a field goal on Monday, scores on his first touch.
Make mistakes, play through mistakes, get better because of the mistakes, because his potential is off the charts.
Jake Claude Carlos, Chris Bell on the floor for Syracuse. Lampkin finishes. Look out. Cadeau's second turnover. Syracuse brings in Petar Majstorovic, freshman from Serbia for the first time. Lampkin. Oh, Majstorovic just sealed off some space inside.
That was good stuff, though. They got a little offensive action, somewhat of a set against the zone, screen the side, draw one, and
this is good stuff, too. Jackson takes it away from Bell and finishes. And Jackson with 5 points early. Back-to-back games where he hadn't made a field goal before that, and Jackson flies in for the rebound here off the missed three. Pushes for Davis. Washington, a rare three-point try. He hits his second of the year. Wonder where will the scoring come from for this group? The lead score off the bench, Bell at 9.5. McLeod over Lubin, too strong. And McLeod gets it back. Majstorovic's little flip is in. And he's missed his first three. Good box out there by Majstorovic, too.
I think the zone sucked the rhythm out of the game for Carolina. They haven't been able to press, and there you go.
Inside Majstorovic again. Carlos with the find, and it's a 1-point game.
Just get him involved in the action. Good things happen.
Into Lubin. McLeod was late off the ball screen. And
he just impacted this arena. They get like a free Chick-fil-A for those two misses.
Tough. Rise and miss. Davis squeezes in there for the tip-in.
I say early in the contest, if you can get to the basket and score, make that defense respect you as a scorer so passing lanes open up.
That was thrown away by Carlos, his first turnover. Carlos gets in there. Trimble, no, and it's Jackson again.
So you can put together a nice run because the game of basketball is fluid. And the fluidity of the game kind of affords for the hot team to win a lot of games. See that in the NCAA tournament? It's a fearless conviction. And then you become really dangerous.
We're going to have the easiest broadcast opens ever that day one of the NCAA tournament. Boo-boo biscuits.
Yeah, I was trying to
sounds delicious. Davis step back three. And finally, R.J. Davis.
Started early because it was just a different rhythm, right? The position he's playing, the role he's playing is different, so the shots he gets feel differently.
Majstorovic off his own miss.
Playing full.
Been a little more above the surface scoring today. 6 points, averaging 2.7 on the year. Trimble, two-hand tap off his own miss. Dan, thank you. Welcome to Central New York, where North Carolina leads Syracuse by 8 minutes ago in the first half. That lead down to 5. North Carolina, a team that struggled to shoot the three this year. They are 6 for 13. And Ian Jackson, a freshman, leading the way with 13 points. Here's Jackson again. Give him 16 and his fourth 3.5.
And look, even if he's playing in the game, he's not the same guy when you have 2 fouls. He's not the same guy on defense because he can't touch anybody. He's not the same aggressive guy on offense because he has to be careful of charges. It's not the same player when you got fouls.
Jackson, final shot of the half. That's not indicative of the way the rest of his half went.
Right now, I was barely listening. Look, you've got to be aggressive getting back into this game, and that's certainly how you do it. But the key is, that's what Coach was talking about. We were talking right before the game. So we've got to get our defense set. We've got to see the basketball. A great way to get your defense set is to make a couple baskets.
Adrian Autry said to us time and again, we've been in the fight. Get a stop. Trimble. They cannot. Nice, easy fake there, and Starling didn't want to pick up his third.
Yes, it's just like the game to be played. A little contact's okay. We got freedom of movement. I'm more about like freedom of contact.
I'm all about freedom of movement. I got a bumper sticker that says freedom of movement. You can't see it in the snow on the back of the car. Davis with a three for Syracuse.
In there with some late three-point shooting in the first half.
Lucas Taylor hit a couple. He's got 8.
He pulled the Archer out at one point, hit 2 in a row.
He did. Withers. And Jalen Withers has tied his season high with 11. Starling, no. Lampkin, the ACC leader in offensive rebounds, throws it out to Taylor. Back into Lampkin. Double team. Walks around it.
Good for Eddie Lampkin. He kind of get a little lazy by not really keeping your urgency up, understanding what can hurt you the most.
Teams in Carolina history, and if you're an optimist, you say they're due for nights like this with all that about the created, sustained rhythm we've had tonight.
I think a lot of that came with Cadeau on the bench.
Withers just fell asleep there.
You had better spacing.
They really need SMU to win tonight. That was a home win for Carolina this year, and then they probably have to pick off a couple of neutral site games in Charlotte. So it can be.
You didn't win any of them. Like, I want to know who you can beat, not just who you can be beaten by or you're willing to play. At the same time, there are teams out there that, like this team in Carolina, it's a different look for this team. No Armando Bacot, no big, right? Smaller, you have to be committed to being small. You have to be able to create space when you're small. You got to make it your advantage.
Lampkin taken away by Jackson instead of Rimrocker.
Pretty well. If you as a driver make contact with somebody like Lampkin who went straight up, go up, use the body to protect the basketball and still finish with the right. Unless it was like a big Kareem skyhook, which was rare for me.
Well, the other part of it, you see there's tape on the right to weak.
I don't think people realize how fragile winning is. Every time I talk to a coach and mention that.
The reality of how quickly not saying this would have been a tournament team, but just how a game or two changes the outlook of your group. Starling with a jumper, and here's Syracuse starting to find its outlook. Carolina having trouble probing here. Davis passes up a deep three, tries to create space. Jackson, Washington pushes it up to Davis, and that's the second time. And he'd fallen completely out of the rotation until the last 4 games. He's played 10 minutes a game, and they've been very valuable minutes.
In that zone, I actually like the zone with McLeod on the floor.
Starling, got it. Starting to feel it.
If only because they've got an opportunity to win games.
And I wanted to ask you, at what point in the season do you start to see the postseason picture?
It wasn't, genius work to say there's going to be an imbalance there this year.
Have Carolina here, 1-10 in quad 1. Do they realistically need to go
postseason destroyer? Feels like that, but this Syracuse team, they found a little something. I think a lot of it.
From McLeod, Davis snapped an 8-0 run. Best free throw shooter in North Carolina history.
I like the lineup on the floor for Syracuse. I think it's a good offensive lineup. They got to capitalize on extension.
And they did it. Yes. It was Lampkin, and Majstorovic set it up. In the corner of 3. It's good for Jackson.
That's what I'm talking about. They work you.
Got 3 for 4 tonight. Hit the front end of what was a 1-and-1. It was a non-shooting foul.
I think this zone's been good. It's been disruptive.
Withers gets the roll, and Powell inside. Withers again. Jalen Withers with the best performance of his season. saw Super Flag do it here in the Dome about a week and a half ago. And he was pretty neutralized offensively, but still impacted the game in a lot of ways. Withers again. We know nothing. Jalen Withers, double figures his first 2 games of the year. That great game at Kansas, thought maybe 19 overall and a 9-point lead for UNC. Just moments ago, this game was tied. Lampkin continues to feast. He's got 20. He's too.
Quite often, the tough pass out of a good trap is stolen, and those are the pick sixes that you look for.
And that's a big foul. That's the 4th on Withers.
Did you just see what he did with his eyes? Did he just go full Undertaker with his eyes? Sorry. Sometimes it just turns into a stream of consciousness. I didn't go to school for this, Kevin. Working hard.
And he had limped off the floor after the under 8. He knocked knees with Withers. Now he steps up to guard Cadeau, trying to bend it in. Cadeau will shoot it instead, and cold off the bench delivers.
Call.
Ends up as the 6th team foul, so Carolina's in the bonus. Jackson trying to penetrate the zone again.
I like where they're putting Cadeau, though. Playmaking position in the middle of the zone.
He bounces to Davis. Tries and fires 3rd three. Nice job by Carlos. That was smart. And the basket will count. Whoa. In history over UNC. Go back to 1977 for that.
I'm thinking more so in terms of a quality team that can win games in the postseason.
1-1. Gets the first.
I just want to see if Eddie Lampkin goes.
It's an 8-point game with 3.5 to play. Syracuse has not made a sub in the last 4 minutes. Starling. Boy, what a tough shot that is.
that's a...
Starling, long steps, and Powell gets that out of here. Jackson all the way, lays it in. 23 for Ian Jackson.
He's had to work. He's really worked on both sides.
He has not had a lot of easy shots all season, and he's still scoring nearly 19 a game. Jackson, turbo charge to the rim, just missed it deep. Didn't know his own strength. Carlos. There's a right to an on-rushing Starling foul and scores! Just twisting himself into a pretzel. He had 19. And now Starling has 20. He's 8 for 8 at the line tonight. Best free throw shooter by percentage, Carolina history.
He's not this team when he's got the ball in his hands. I just feel like they create a better rhythm. I think they were able to do that tonight.
Second half, Starling. 9-foot setback by injuries. Time and again, shoulder and knee injuries. Started at Notre Dame. Fractured hand here.
He's been from the free throw line.
Boy, well, Syracuse
close, and they fought their way into this one.
Jackson back for Trimble. Lampkin, one of the best free throw shooting nights of his life. He's 8 for 9.
But look, it's been the whole game. He is working his tail off, man.
Cadeau, 15 to shoot, spins around Carlos. A big basket for Elliot Cadeau. About today. Little spurts, little bubbles of time that have taken their seasons off course, and Carolina hoping there's still a chance to get it back on. It's a 6-point game, and Hubert Davis will use his 3rd timeout.
There are games out there that I've watched where it didn't look like Carolina truly competed. And there are games out there where it didn't look like Syracuse.
Well, Starling will drive it, try to draw the foul, missed badly. Lampkin. Got to be at 3 now. Carlos around and out, and it's Syracuse ball with 12.4 to shoot. 5 threes on the year.
Lampkin has an outlet there.
I mean, Lampkin, all right, it's a 2, but it's still a 2-possession game. Now you have just 9.6 to go.
Just about talent or ability.
Man in there to rebound. Syracuse going to have to score lightning quick. And a great job by Powell, who hits both. It's time, and time's going to run out, and it's a 2. North Carolina wins it, a game they never trailed Syracuse tied it a couple of times. A great fight. Ian Jackson was awesome early, and North Carolina.